All right, hello, here we are, back with another brand talk through. This one's a little different. Obviously, we're in a new setting. This is the shipping station of our warehouse. So we're gonna kind of give you an overview of this brand, talk about why we like it, how we came upon it, why we think it fits a Canoe Club, and then we'll throw it on Alec in the other room, and you can kind of see how it fits. The brand in question is Stone Island.
It started in like the 80s by Massimo Osti. This is a brand that's been around forever, but it just feels like it's permeated so many different pieces of culture through different kind of culty elements. You know, you and I kind of think about this kind of stuff when it comes to like hardcore music. This is like more British culture.
Yeah.
And it really is permeated through music, through punk scenes, through sports, through all sorts of different places. This is sort of permeated culture more than it has just been a brand, which I think is what makes it so unique and so cool in it, because it means so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah.
And I really think that's when a brand gets to be something bigger than just a thing that sells clothes. It's a part of the fabric of society, which I think is really interesting and what makes Stone Island so special. I think the other argument that people would say is like what sets Stone Island apart from maybe other things, or its dedication to fabric innovation, pushes the boundaries so far beyond just what they're doing. I think that everything, as they often say, is everything that they do is like a science experiment, in just seeing how far you can push fabric into being something completely unique or different. And I think that that's what they do light years better than almost anybody else. They're really focused on making fabrics that do not exist yet, or do something that fabric was formerly not supposed to do.
Like thermoreactive dyes and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's a brand that you kind of reckon with in a couple different ways. One is through culture, like we talked about, and the other one is through like use case and utility, because it's meant to like live with you and do a lot of different things. So,
I mean, when I think of Stone, I think of the puffer.
Sure.
Like the winter puffer jacket.
Sure, I think of like an anorak zipped all the way up. I think of it like the thermo, you know, the popular thing we've all seen of the sweater with the handprint in the middle of it. It's just pushing what can be art and science. I mean, there's plenty of cases of painters making like a specific color, and there's not much going on in the painting, but to create that color it didn't exist prior. And I think that's kind of like what you're looking at with Stone Island, is they're creating something entirely new and then applying it in ways that you just haven't seen before, which is, it really makes the brand evolution interesting, because it feels like every new year it can be something completely different, but it's still somehow stays true to what it is. So it's been a brand we've considered and been interested in for a long time. I don't know anyone that's into fashion that hasn't been interested in this brand or influenced by this brand in some way. So it's a really exciting time to come in just based on its current cultural impact. So we're really excited about what they've been doing. Other areas where the brand has really impacted culture has been, you know, you've seen it in like soccer hooligan style culture. It has this historical bad boy-ness to it that I think is really
like a
interesting.
counterculture aspect of it.
Not only through, obviously through like football hooligan culture. They're, you know, obviously inside of like Oasis, which is having, you know, a huge deal with the tour right now. I think that also had this like, you know, very bad boy element to it, especially in Brit culture. It has this edginess to it, while also having this completely other side to what it is inside of expedition and exploration and innovation. Those two things don't normally sit side by side. And I don't think very many people associate Patagonia with like rock and roll. No. That's what I mean by the way it's really interwoven into our culture. When you're a brand that's able to like stay that relevant in that many different spaces for that long, obviously they're doing something that's important to fashion as a whole.
Yeah, it's really cool too, because how it sits here at Canoe Club, the way that I see it at least, is it's similar for the engineered garments kind of guy who likes a little bit more utility but still silhouette based.
There's a certain cleverness
materials
that both of those brands bring to the table.
Yep, and then like the functionality of something like a Nanamika with like the down coats and like the very Gore-Tex material-driven things where they have a function and utility
I think
first.
Color palette also is something that they always keep top of mind, whether they're doing some sort of like crazy, not existing, very synthetic-looking colors, to all the way to like what we're looking at now, which is these very like muddy, earthy. It just feels nature-driven, and I think that Nanamika also always has that in mind with their like connection to the ocean and sea. You know.
Oh yeah, their lookbooks are always so stellar and so based in nature, despite having a lot of like synthetic materials.
So I think there's a lot of similarities there.
I think it's a good addition for a lot of guys, not just the Nanamika EG guy, because you also have a lot of things from like their Ghost collection that we wrote, which is like kind of the logo is more tonal, so it's not going to pop as much.
It's meant to exist
in more just kind of monotone. You know what I mean?
It's meant to exist in that more fashion space, geared towards that more technical minded, but they want the premium fabrics. They want to see like how can silhouette be pushed as opposed to how can just fabric be pushed, or how can a color palette be pushed. It's just interesting. I feel like Stone Island will take any element of fashion, whether like we said, silhouette, color palette, fabric, whatever it is, and they really seem to like see where the boundary is and see if they can step their foot over that line as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes it just this really cool brand that's exciting to bring in now and see what they continue to do.
Truly excited, really excited. So
yeah.
All right, so that is a little bit of background why we were drawn to Stone Island, why we think it fits in well at Canoe Club, why we're excited to now be carrying it. We're gonna pop over to the photo room. We're gonna throw some of this stuff on Alec. We can see how it fits, see how the silhouette works. I'm excited to see how some of these pieces interchange. This is just our first delivery. There's plenty more to come, but I am excited to kind of dig into this because I have not personally tried any of this stuff either. Yeah, I'm excited to see what it looks like on. Al is a great model, so let's just pop on over there and see what it looks like.
Cool.
Come on in, Mr. Al.
All right, here he is, our forever model. Okay, so this is the light ripstop jacket and shorts from them. We really love this look. This is a really great like top and bottom look that we have in the collection right now. This is one where I think you play this 100 different ways. You buy it, you can wear it as a whole kit like this and it looks great. This looks cool with a million other things on the top. The shorts look great on their own. And the nice thing was when it's like Cordura ripstop, micro rip, you can kind of see it drapes nicely. Doesn't hug the body, but sits against the skin nice.
Yeah.
It really wears well. It's not too hot. It breathes. It's tough because it's ripstop and Cordura. The main thing though for me is it's just the nylon drapes, because nothing's worse when you get that like tough nylon that sort of sits funny on your body.
I was just gonna say, this is not the ripstop that you're most familiar with, which is like a starchy, really kind of crunchy kind of material. This is as soft as it gets and truly lightweight, or an extremely lightweight material.
Yeah, I mean, you get all the cool stuff about Stone Island. There's a hidden hood, zips out. I love this pocket shape. I've had this on a couple jackets before, including Old La Mer, and I love how much room there is. It's just nice because when you put stuff in it, it makes the jacket hang better, actually.
It's cool like
as
that.
opposed to like sometimes you have a jacket and you're like, I'm all off of proportion because I put like 2 things in my pockets. So this helps it hang well. You can see when, especially, can you turn to the side, Alec? You can see it does this thing that these do the best, especially when you get these pockets. It does this and then curves in. Really creates a nice oval shape that just looks good on anybody.
Yeah.
I really like this jacket a ton. Maybe one of my favorite pieces in the collection right off rip.
Oh, for sure.
I think the shorts are super versatile. You look at them as like a baggie or something like that, just way higher quality. It's got this great long zip in the back. It doesn't quite connect, but it creates these huge dump pockets in the back, almost like climbing pants. Again, I love climbing pants because when you put all this stuff in your pockets, it's like you don't feel that it's there. So I think it's a really versatile short as well. I love this muddy greenish brown that's happening. I really like it. I think this is...
And also, like, when I think of Stone Island, I think of like that iridescent kind of nature to some of the ties, and you certainly have it here.
This is a super approachable kit from them. Nothing too crazy. The material is, you're going to be somewhat familiar with what you're looking at. The versatility is off the charts. It's really an easy piece to kind of get in with Stone Island from and really be doing that classic Stone Island look too. Cool. How do you feel, Alec?
It's super cool. This is the first time I tried this on. If you ever just generalized ripstop, I feel like it's usually thicker and it's usually rougher, but this is the softest windbreaker that I've ever felt, and it's good on the skin. It's perfect. I really like it for its lightness, and you can kind of wear it in any weather.
The dual way zip and all the different pocketing and all the different banding, it really also will allow the wearer to kind of change the silhouette to however you want, which is in these nylon pieces, I've really found that's what you want. I have a great Camille piece that does the same thing where I can really change the fit and proportion just by yanking some pieces, and it fully changes the way it looks on the body.
So it'll sit a little bit on the hip.
Cool. I think it looks great.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Come on in, Alan.
Let's bring him in for another look.
Ooh, this is a little cozy one too.
So we wanted to also be able to show that Stone Island doesn't have to always be technical. It's not the only thing that they do. They have a myriad of different pieces that they work on, and ranging from anywhere for hyper technical, way beyond what we just looked at, all the way down to like very everyday and casual. This type of fleece is really interesting because the way it's woven, you see it up close where there's this they call it an old effect, and that's kind of exactly what it's doing. It feels like it's been worn and caught and stuck up a bunch of times and it's faded out. The areas where you see this kind of like effect happening, there's like a lighter color underneath. So it really creates this like high and low effect that feels like it's been very naturally aged and worn.
It's almost like a really slubby pair of denim. You know what I mean? How you get the lines, but in this case,
almost like the warp and weft are different colors. Yeah. I think the most important piece with this is you see that fit. It's got that oversized, comfortable fit without being anywhere dramatic on any end. It's not a super drop shoulder. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is truly anybody can wear Stone Island. I think that they really consider that is that it's kind of for everybody. everybody. I just think anytime I see anybody put any piece on, it really does seem to fit everybody in a flattering way.
Yeah, looks good.
And I really think the drape here works well, especially we compared it with this really comfortable pair of, what are these called, real used
These are the real
Orslows?
used
These are
vintage
new.
fit from Orslo,
Yeah.
so it's as stonewashed as it gets. But wanted to pair this with this so it felt really laid back coming off of such a tech.
You can almost see
forward
in the
fit.
pants almost easier the actual effect that's happening in here. Yeah, it looks so put together and elegant while still feeling very like used and abused, which I think is really cool. I think the most important thing is really how this one feels and fits. So
The way that it drapes around the hips and fitted around the arms kind of just add up for a perfect crew neck, in my opinion. This would be the piece to get if you weren't super into the tech wear aspect of Stone Island, but you still wanted to support the brand and stuff like that.
You were pleasantly surprised putting on like, oh shit, this is really nice. So looks good on you, Al. Like you said, Timbo, it is pretty flattering on everybody.
Heavy too, almost feels the way it drapes, the weight of it almost feels like a sweater, but you could totally layer over the top of it without feeling like stuffed in something. So it's great. Cool.
Cool, looks great.
Bring him in.
Here he comes.
Okay.
This is nice, right off the rip. Nice and downfilled. Al did say he's a little hot in here. Obviously we're shooting this inside, but it's encouraging knowing that this has a lot of functionality to it, as we were talking in the intro.
Well, and I'll say, if it's feeling that hot, it's light though.
Yeah.
Like it's not a heavy jacket, you know what I mean? So you're getting a lot of warmth for not a lot of added weight, which is really great. This is kind of a cool jacket in that I love the length, I love the fit, I love how simple it is. I love that the only like button you're even really seeing is this guy right here. I think that's kind of cool. So when it's all sutured up, you're really only seeing that. I think that's kind of unique. Also a cool way to just kind of have it done just a little bit, leave it open the rest of the way. I really like the color, nice and clean graphite. I'm kind of wearing the same thing, so I'm obviously attracted to it. Everything that happens cool with this jacket is on these like little detail things. So you've got your badge, obviously. You got the place to hang up the badge when you're not, when it's not in use. Yeah, if you want to park her. You've got interior pockets, so you can't even see where your stuff's at. This is some kind of like robber shit, which is pretty cool.
This is kind of like we talked with Jonah from Blackbird, if you want to go back to that episode of the podcast. If you live in a place with 4 seasons, this is one of those things where it'd be nice just to have by the door. You got a dog walk, you got to run to the store, whatever. This would go over all your situation to still keep you really nice and warm, and would probably just kind of look cool with whatever.
It's like a micro sanded twill too, so this is only going to get better as you wear it, but it still kind of feels technically, and it's still going to bead water and stuff like that. So it really is a really high functioning, straightforward piece for them. It's kind of like a good drummer in a band is the one who knows how to pull it back. This is kind of exactly that piece for Stone Island. Is like they can do all the crazy shit. They could have made this way more nuts, pulling it back and really keeping the details on the inside into the fabric and letting the cleanness of it really shine. That's what's done really well here.
Yep. And then we got this quarter zip underneath.
Yeah, do you mind taking off the jacket?
Yeah, here, I can hold it for you.
Yeah. So this is very classic Stone Island, like kind of goes back into the collection for a long time. This sort of a great rib knit where they keep the bottom part of the rib.
The valley, if you will.
Yeah, the valley of the rib knit is black with the top being the main color of the garment, in this case green, but they've done it in all sorts of different colors. I really think it looks sporty, like that old Prada sport energy, clean and elegant while still feeling like you could actually do some work in it.
Totally.
I think it's cool. Almost reminds me of like a cycling shirt mixed with like very classic like fisherman sweaters. So really blending those two worlds really nicely. You've obviously got your badge. Everything else is clean. Again, I really want you to notice like how great it drapes for being a heavy knit fabric. Normally you're not going to get both, and somehow they're able to make it happen in both.
Drapes isn't pooling too much at the waist, doing that tight little waist situation that sometimes sweaters can do.
They're really good. If you'll notice, I think you can see it really well here on Alec, is how the raglan sleeve, they take these heavy, unnatural fabrics and somehow make them curve the body well while not looking like you're suctioned into it like a sport outfit. Sure. It's really great. I think this is a stellar piece from them. One of my favorites from the collection. How you feel and stuff, Alec?
First of all, the jacket, I love all the features on there. You'll get everything you want utility-wise, but it's also a brand that is renowned and a good understudy of all the fabrics and stuff like that. So I love that coat. I love the storage for the little badge just in case you want to play it down. It's something that I would keep in my car if the weather kind of turns a little trashy. You know, you kind of just transition into that coat and it kind of fits with anything else. As far as this goes, this is just another example of just how thoroughly impressed I am with the way Stone Island feels and fits and stuff like that. Everything is super, super intentional, and I just love it. This is a great underlayer. Yeah, no complaints.
Cool. All right, let's bring him in for the last one.
Bring him in. Here we go, Al. On some UK shit for sure with this.
He looks tough. This is what I like about Stone Island though. For some reason, you do have this connotation that this is a tough look. Yeah. We were just talking about it. But at the same time, like,
There's nothing
Any of our
imposing
dads
about
would
it.
wear that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That
yeah.
sweater. And this is like kind of like a technical pant that I see all over town. But for some reason, they're able to pair it together, and because of the cultural influence it has this like edginess to it, which I think is really difficult to do. If you were trying to do that as a brand, I have no idea how you'd begin to cultivate that image besides years of like natural, organic coolness.
Influence and culture.
Yeah.
The pants are the standout for me. He really does look like the fella who'd finish the fight at the pub. You know what I mean? He's not going to start it, but
he's
he's
our
definitely
finisher.
gonna finish it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it looks great. So these pants are like a crispy, not a ripstop feel, but like a crispy nylon feel, you know?
Totally. I think it's going to age well over time and their garment dyed.
Yes.
I think the other cool thing about this is this one you'll still see. If you look at it on the website, it looks like there's a taper to it, and there is. But this is what I mean. Taper doesn't always mean it's a skinny pant. You can see it's all gathering there, not dropping beyond the shoe, so you're not dragging, you're not going to ruin the thing, and you still get this really almost straight leg or sort of like a little more bellows kind of pant to it.
Yeah. It's so that it'll sit on top of the sneaker and not do what something like a baggy shoe does, where it goes to the toe. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because a lot of this stuff is so technically influenced.
Yeah.
It's a lot like what North Face Purple Label or Non-Amica does. Again, similarly
blending
with
them
this
together.
sort of utility type fabric.
Yeah, I mean, none of those places exist without Stone Island, to be honest with you. So I think that, like, I agree. I love the pant. I love the color. I love that all of this palette that we've looked at so far could all be blended together and it would still all make sense. I love this piece on top because it's like elegant, almost that kind of slow luxury type of world. But at the same time, it's all rooted in workwear. I mean, it's got the throat latch. It's got the finishing just like an old denim jacket would have on the collar.
The kind of zigzag
if you don't
going
mind
down.
taking the collar down just so you can see the convertible. It's got the zipper underneath, which is great. As always, a dual way zipper, and you have the buttons. So you can kind of, even with the button, get that sort of dual way zippered look. Kind of a club collar with the throat latch. You can also kind of clean it up that way. I would love this jacket also for like a mid layer as well.
Oh, totally.
I think it works really well that way. This blends all the worlds together really well in this what I kind of think of as like a simple outfit, even though it's such a standout. How's it feel on?
Super clean. I feel like when I came into doing this video, I had a lot of preconceptions on what Stone Island was, and I feel like this season, this delivery has kind of undone that for me. You know, that's all I have to say. It's really pretty stuff. This kind of feels more ripstoppy, as you were saying, Chase, but it's just like a really pretty nylon. And it's, you know, there's no square pattern that you would typically get with something like that, but it does feel like a utilitarian pant, which is interesting. So yeah, it's really pretty stuff. It feels great. It's warm.
And as always, like, I think people get a little stopped up with, like, you know, Stone Island, it has like their iconic logo in, which I think really can make a piece. Or if it drives you nuts because you're just not a logo guy, I get it. I'm not much of a logo guy myself. You just pop these off, they're all removable, and then they're not there anymore. That easy, you know what I mean? So it depends on what you're into, how you're into it, but like it's easy to kind of like make this brand work around what you're into, as opposed to can I fit into the brand. Yeah. So I think that's what makes it special, and I'm really excited that we're carrying it. I really think all these looks look great. I'm really excited to get the rest of it. I'm really excited to at some point show Ghost, which is their like with that Tier Zero collection that they
Super
have.
monotone.
Really excited
uniform.
about that. I think they're doing really cool things right now, and I'm excited. I think we're at an exciting time with the brand. So yeah, hope you dig it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
There it was, Stone Island, first delivery. As Timothy and I have said, we have plenty more to come. It's just the first stuff that was ready for fall 2025. I'm really excited. It's been a fun addition. It's something that has been on our radar for obviously a long time, but it was cool. It's cool to see a lot of the stuff on Al, see how the silhouettes actually fit a body, because, you know, we've been looking off a line sheet and are not familiar with a lot of this product firsthand.
Cool. Like I said, I think it's a cool addition. I love the cultural importance the brand's had. I think it looks great. Kind of like Alec was saying, I think a lot of people have a preconceived notion about the brand because it has been a lot of different things. Someone who's in their 20s is going to have a certain idea. Someone who's in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and on are kind of have this like idea of what the brand is. So it's cool to present it and show it in a somewhat new way, show it styled a little bit different, how we're thinking about it as opposed to just how the culture is thinking about it.
Yeah, other than that, please let me know what you guys think. If you like this format, this is something we're continually growing on, changing a little bit every time. Formerly, we were just kind of showing the product. Now we're putting it on Al, and I kind of liked that we started that other thing. So we've been having a lot of fun. Shout out to Rabo. He's our boy. Like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, just be in touch.
Yeah, we're around.
Yeah, easy to find.
Okay, bye.
Cool. See ya.